Yo, what is up, my dudes? I'm back with another video. This time I'm gonna be talking about hard attacks in specifically the Mario and Luigi series. Now, this is very controversial. I have friends who think a big example is Bowser X. I have a few friends who think Bowser X is harder in the original because he's a lot faster. Now, this is the thing for me and another friend of mine who I just watched Metroid Prime 4, Professor Gaming. Me and him specifically. Oh my gosh, when we fought Bowser X, his attacks were slow enough, or slower, but that's the messed up thing. Both of us, me and him, we both had a lot harder time with Bowser X in the remake. And I'll get to that later. I'll get to his attacks later. But this is where the divide comes in. Some people think the attacks are always harder when they're faster. And some people are her slower type attack people, which I really can see why. And some of us are mixed. Now you might be wondering, which category do I fall in? Well, if you heard me earlier, you might think that I am a slow attacker, defender. But I'm actually a mixed defender. I'm actually both. I think sometimes fast attacks are harder, and sometimes slower attacks are harder. Now this is where I'll get into the attacks that I think are the hardest. Or are harder to dodge. First up is Dermite. This is a big one. Dermite in the original, she's a lot faster with that straw move, right? But I swear to God, even the first time that I fought Dermite, I did not really have that big of an issue with it. Where does that issue come in? You might be wondering. The effing remake. Oh my God, guys. That remake fight, I literally warned a friend of mine, Gail, from high school. I literally warned him about that fight in particular, because of how buffed she was in the remake compared to the original. And this is almost every freaking buddy that I've talked to. Almost everyone that I've talked to says, well, you're not really wrong. They really did buff her in the remake. One of my friends, popular YouTuber, Sully Pones, took an hour. I will repeat that. An hour to beat Dermite in the remake. Are you effing kidding me, guys? I am not lying. It literally took him an hour to beat Dermite, dude. That is how hard and how severely buffed she got in the remake. And that, I also agreed with him. I also agreed with some other friends. Another friend of mine, Fawful the Great 64, I actually asked him before he actually banned me for getting into another controversy that I will not mention, because I've already mentioned it before, and it's irrelevant to the video. Even he was like, yeah, they really did buff her. So I mean, even he actually agreed with me with that fight as well in the remake. Which just goes to show how hard it actually is. And you might be like, well, what makes her so much harder than the original? Well, you remember that one straw attack, right? Get this. They made the straw attack so slow in the remake that most people can't even dodge it. It's nearly impossible to dodge in the remake. I am not lying, I'm not exaggerating when I say that this attack is literally one of the hardest to dodge in the series, besides like some of Reclusa's attacks. And then, of course, Bowser X in the remake. The next one that is actually a lot harder for me is, of course, Bowser X. Bowser X, most of his attacks are slower in the remake. Now, some of my friends might think that he's easier. Me and Professor Gaming had a lot harder time with his attacks in the remake. And we both struggled big time with Bowser X in the remake compared to the original. And I just refought Bowser X in the original recently, and as hard as I kept getting one shot, it wasn't as hard as the remake. As hard as that was, it wasn't as bad as the remake. The remake is still miles harder. Now, getting on to his attacks. The attacks that are harder in the remake, for me, for Bowser X in particular, are Goomba Storm, Shy Guy Squad, I think that's the actual name, I forget. The actual, Fire Spike Ball attack. His new giant attack, where he actually spits fireballs and you have to hammer them, which is a brand new attack from the actual remake. He did not have this attack in the OG game. This is a new attack. It's even harder than the other attack in the OG game, which I can dodge pretty freaking easily. It's even harder, that new attack's harder in the remake, in my opinion. And the elephant in the room. Oh my god. His chase attack. This attack, I swear to god, they buffed so fucking hard in the remake. I swear to god, I am not lying, I am not exaggerating. This is how hard that attack was buffed. If you jump at the last second, when you have to jump again over another flame, get this, you can't dodge it. You can't dodge it. You don't have enough time to jump. If you jump at the wrong time, it is impossible to dodge another attack from him at a specific point in that attack. Guys, I am not kidding. You have to jump earlier, otherwise you're gonna get damaged. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculously buffed. It's ridiculously more hard, and it just goes to show how much harder Bowser X is in the remake. And to top it all off, he heals 9,999 HP, which also makes him a lot harder, because when you're about to kill him, he's like, oh, screw you. Heal everything, and you have to start the fight all over again. And if you actually combined his HP with that heal and the one with and the over 2,000 that you have to deal to get him into Fury to heal him in the first place, that's over 8,000 HP. He is over 8,000 HP if you get him into Fury mode in the remake. And that's even more than the original, which is just insane. So that's another reason why he's actually a lot buffed. And even another friend of mine, who I will mention, Jaden Jones. If you ever see this video, Jaden Jones, let me just say that he actually agrees with me with that. Even he said Bowser X was buffed massively in the remake. So I mean, that's at least 3 of us who just struggled with the remake fight. And the elephant in the room, some of the hardest attacks to dodge in the entire series. Reclusa. Oh my god, where do I even begin with this dude? I mean, think. One of his attacks that's really, really hard to dodge is his weeping Solai Tree. Sorry, I just messed up the name. It's the Solai Tree hand attack, where he actually sends his arms out to actually attack. And this is literally the same exact timing as the Dermite straw move. If you don't jump at the right time, you're going to get hit. It is nearly impossible to dodge. And the elephant in the room, the hardest attack to dodge, in my opinion, in the entire franchise, Reclusa's status ailment attack. Where do I even begin with this attack? Oh boy. First, he literally puts a status ailment on you to where you literally have the heavy bro status ailment. And you might be like, okay, you can just do something to actually dodge the status ailment. No, it is impossible to dodge, so he literally weakens you and makes the attack harder. And then he actually starts to actually throw these slow projectiles at you while you're still a status ailmented, by the way. And then and then he can also, get this, he can also put 2 more status ailments on you if you fail to dodge his arm swing attack. You can either get burned or frozen. And frozen, if you get frozen, you cannot dodge again until you get hit, which is just insane. And the hardest part of that attack is when you get him into rage and he actually goes up into the foreground and actually shoots this gigantic Kamile type fire death ball type move, which he can also switch into either being invisible or going small to actually trick you, and or it's on fire like freaking Kamile, basically, which is why I gave it the name Kamile Fire Death Ball, because it's like a huge reference to Kamile from the Dead Alive series, because her element is fire. That's why I gave that move. I just thought I would name it that, because it's like it's just, oh my god, man. And that death ball, that a Kamile a fire death ball can one-shot you if you are not careful, dude. It's so overpowered. It's so hard to dodge. It's so overpowered, and it's just hard. It's one of the hardest attacks, in my opinion, in the entire series. And you're still status ailmented when he does that. So it just makes it infinitely harder, dude. It's ridiculous. But yeah, that is some of the hardest attacks in the series, in my opinion, and some of my friends even actually agree with me on that. And yeah, I would go over some more attacks, but I'm running out of time, unfortunately, with Reclusa. There are some harder attacks that I would mention, but I'm unfortunately running out of time, so I thought that I would just get his hardest attacks out of the way instead. And yeah, if you want to know what his other attacks are, just watch my video or watch a video of his fight, because it's ridiculous. He has some of the hardest attacks in the series, in my opinion. But that is going to be it. Hope you enjoyed, because I'm literally almost out of time. So, until next time, peace out, guys.